What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I got a question. Why are there so many tobacco stores, vape shops in the hood? It's really upsetting. I've been thinking about this for a while. Because I ride past them all the time. And it really brings this anger within me that I want to fuel into purpose and speak on. Because as a resident of my neighborhood, I think it is dangerous. I think it is destructive. I think it is no coincidence. I think it is being weaponized against myself, against my fellow residents, against my children, which I don't have any children, but the children of the community, my children in essence. I think it is a weapon to the mind, because whether or not I patron these businesses, the imagery is still there. I have some notes that I'll probably look down at or pick up because I wanted to organize my thoughts before I came on here and just like spit, because I can really go, because I'm really fired up. I got jazz playing in the background to help ground me, to help keep me steady. I have water to sip on when I get a little too fired up. But I need this. I need this energy to really articulately communicate how much of a problem this is. So I'll start first with asking the question: why are there so many vape shops? Why are there so many tobacco shops in the neighborhood? Why is it that these places are disproportionately located in the hood, where Black and brown people live, work, play, sleep? I took a quick Google search to just see how much, how many. And there's this street that I used to live on. And on that street, there are at least, well, let me be correct. On that street in kind of the surrounding little side streets, there are at least 11 tobacco shops, vape shops, smoke shops. I looked to see on the West End, because in my region where I live, the West End is the more affluent area. So I went to go see what it's looking like over there. I saw 3 in the West End. Let me be correct. Let me sip my water. In a neighborhood in the West End, rather. So a bigger part of this area had 3, whereas this street and the side streets within it had at least 11. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It really angers me. It really does, because there's so many things wrong with it. The fact that there are 11 of these places amongst fast food chains, amongst empty vacant buildings, there's a couple banks, there's a couple dialysis centers where people go to for kidney failure and things like that, health problems. There is a couple of grocery stores. There's one that I could think of, and one further down. So two, a couple. These places are marketed with cartoon characters. Simpsons, SpongeBob, Rick and Morty, right? And don't listen, I know Rick and Morty is not a kid show. I understand that, but it's a cartoon. It's an animated show. A child under the age of 18 is going to look at, and don't get offended, okay? Teenagers, children, same thing, okay? I'm still a child, for real. I mean, I'm an adult. You know what I mean. Stop it. Listen to my message. Don't, because I can already hear people getting triggered from this. I'm here to trigger. That's part of my purpose. So allow the triggers to keep you hooked. Don't let the triggers shut you down. But a lot of these places are marketed with cartoon characters. Think about what that does to the child who looks at cartoons on a daily basis and sees, oh, what's that store? So there brings that curiosity. It brings curiosity to what these places are, and then being so familiar with it because it's 11 of them besides schools. There's a huge university in the city, and they are all around the schools and universities. Students, college students, who are burnt out, who are stressed out from the academic load in this world, go to these places to escape, to cope. They go to these places because they're there. If they weren't there, then they wouldn't have anywhere to go. Stop it. Hold on. My bad. I got a call. Had to figure that out. Okay. See, when I'm really spitting that good stuff, this type of stuff happens. But anyway, I was just talking about the effect that it has on children when these places are marketed with cartoon characters smoking, as if that's something that our children should be curious about, should talk about, should engage in. Not too long ago, I'm driving. This car pulls up beside me with this very young teenager driving beside what I intuitively sense is his younger brother. They looked alike anyway. Tell me why the brother passes the vape to the younger brother, no more than 13 years old, and 13 is a stretch. He looked like he was 10, no more than 13 years old, vaping in the passenger seat. This is not new. This is not uncommon, but it is happening. And what are we doing about it? 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 That's a genuine question. I would love to know. If anybody has a take on this, what are you doing about it? Because it's upsetting me. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. Very upsetting. Not too long ago, there was a woman. So I work in the school system. Surprise, surprise. I work in the school systems, and there was a woman just standing on the premises, on the property. I believe she may have been a parent, or maybe she was just taking a walk and she had to pass by the school. But she was standing there on the phone, pacing back and forth, smoking a cigarette, while the children were getting bussed off. Bust. And it's like, first of all, you're not even supposed to smoke on the premises. She was right beside a security guard who literally was not paying attention to her at all. And it's like, sis, if you gotta smoke, do that somewhere else. Do that somewhere else. It's not something to be shameful about, but it's like, we have to be mindful of our actions. We have to be mindful of our actions and what messages they send to the world around us. Whenever we come into contact with somebody, there is an energetic exchange. Period. That's science. Argue about it in the comments. Whenever we come into contact with somebody, whether we know it or not, there is an energetic exchange. The same way you can leave someone's presence and feel drained. The same one you can leave a conversation and feel so much better. Because there is an exchange. So when we are exchanging energies, we must be responsible for the energy that we put out. We can be in control of that. Can't be in control of anybody else. But we can be in control of what we do, what we say, how we think. Yes, we can be in control of that. We need to stop being so cheap with our energy. We need to stop being so cheap, so immature with our energy. I think it's crazy. Something new that I've seen, a new development that I've seen with these stores is that now they've gone from tobacco smoke to tobacco smoke convenience grocery. So now you got groceries in the same store that you get your weed from, or whatever it is, because it might not even be weed. It might be some other shit. Think for a second. There's not just adults going into this store. There are children going into the store with their parents, with their grandparents, with their family members to go get groceries, which really aren't groceries, but just packaged poison. I'm angry at the fact of it all. I don't want my anger to be mistaken for anger at the people who are subject to these systems. Because you have to survive. So what am I going to do when I'm on a fixed income and all I have is the store right up the street? I don't have enough money to afford childcare. My child stays with me, a family member, so-and-so. So I'm going to take my child with me to the grocery store. We're going to walk. We're going to take the bus. We might even drive. But in that convenience store is way more than just groceries. Stuff that I should not be exposing my child to at such a tender, impressionable, curious age. We've gotten too willy-nilly with what we take in as far as information. And just because we take it in, which we should be more responsible of what we take in, doesn't mean our child needs to see those things. And it's not blinding them from the world, no. It's protecting their energy when they cannot protect it themselves. Of course things are gonna happen. Of course something is gonna, be exposed to them that we don't want to. That's when we have a conversation. That's when we address it. But we don't need to actively put them in positions where they have to see this on a daily basis and think that it's okay and think that it's normal, because it is not. It is a product of our sickness in this world. The same health challenges that we are trying to get away from, we must be subjected to by people not even within our community at that. And I'm glad that, all of it is wrong. All of it is wrong. But the fact that these places are owned and operated by people of other communities, for what I see, it's a lot of Eurasian people, Middle Eastern people, not Black people, not melanated, indigenous, original people, which, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just calling it for what it is. And of course, rightfully so, these people are going to pour into their communities. But the problem is that they are siphoning from ours. They are siphoning from ours and exploiting us. We are paying them. We are putting our hard-worked, hard-earned money into their communities as they pour into them. And what do we get in return but more pain and more sickness and more escapism and more just coping with life? It's exploitation. We are being exploited. And we low-key know it. It's our responsibility. It is our responsibility to protect our communities. It is. It is. It is. It may be unfair. It may be unfair. One could say it is unfair because it seems very unfair, right? It does. And also, it is something that we're facing. It is something that we are facing and that we must navigate. I used to grow up in a neighborhood where there was a candy lady on the corner. If you're not familiar, my candy lady, we would go to her, we would go, play around the neighborhood, me and my friends. This was maybe before I was like 7, 8, right? Yes, I had a lot of freedom as a kid. I was going outside the neighborhood and all types of stuff. Because again, that's how it was for me. So, me and my friends would walk around, go to the candy lady's house. She had chips, she had sodas, she had icebergs, which are like little ices, put juice in it and freeze it, and it's like a sweet treat. She had candy, she had all types of stuff in her home. I don't see many candy ladies anymore. I don't see many home-based businesses anymore in that capacity. Of course, things are different. Of course, security and safety is more of a concern when it comes to going in people's houses, yes. At the same time, community is lacking in a lot of our communities. Genuine community, right? I have the blessing and I have the privilege of being able to pour into and get support from members within my community. Not everybody has that. So I recognize that this is such a complex issue. Please, I'm not pointing the blame at anybody, but I am saying that we have the power to change the circumstances. We cannot keep going through life passively as if the shit is just going to disappear, because it's not. It's not. It's not. We have a role to play in this. Let me continue. Our pain and our trauma is being exploited. Pain is very profitable in our community. Look at Tyler Perry. He has made so much money, gained so much fame off of putting out art and movies on our pain. Single black motherhood, especially when it comes to the woman. Oh my goodness. The pain that the woman deals with is shown all throughout his material. Celebrity drama and gossip. That's what's hot. That's what's popular. But just because it's popular does not mean that it is healthy. Does not mean that it is ideal. The glitz and glamour of life, we are coming to realize that that is not the golden standard. Not everything that glitters is gold. We know this. And yet we continue to support people, places, things, systems that exploit our pain. If you look at the wellness practitioners, the Queen of Fuas, the Tabitha and Chance Browns of the world, and you measure their success to what's popular, you'll see a dramatic difference. There is no coincidence. There is no coincidence. So why do we smoke? Why do we smoke in the first place? Why is that something that we engage in? Right? Because it's not something to shame ourselves about, right? I've been smoking for 8 years. So again, I'm no saint. I'm not looking down on people. Like we are in this together. We are not free until everybody is free. I just have the eyes to see that something is wrong, that something must be changed, and that we have a part to play in it. We cannot just sit passively, look at this video and say, damn, she right, and then continue with our lives. No, it doesn't work like that. Everything we do, everything we think, everything we feel, everything we believe, everything we do is recorded. Whether we know it or not, we must answer for everything. That's not to scare you. That's not to put fear, put shame, put guilt on your heart. That's just to shed light on the fact that we take up space. We're not invisible. We must stop treating ourselves as if our contributions mean nothing, as if our actions mean nothing, as if there are no consequences for the things that occur, as if we can just sweep shit under the rug and it'll just disappear. It won't, because when it's time to pull that rug up, we have to deal with the mess. So why do we smoke? Well, I believe that it is a way that our body seeks to connect with our breath. A lot of us don't know how to breathe. A lot of us have not taken a full breath in who knows when. That is the problem. Connecting with spirit, breath. A lot of us are disconnected from spirit, God, creator, source. A lot of us are disconnected from ourselves. And as a way that our body's intelligence makes up for that, we seek things that take the place of that feeling when really it's kind of a synthetic feeling. Again, our body is very intelligent, so it's going to cope. It's going to find a way. It just might not be the healthiest way. It might not be the best in the West. So we might look to smoking a cigarette or smoking some weed or smoking the vape to connect with our breath when our anxiety and stress causes us to be disconnected from it. Causes us to embody this fight or flight survival mode constantly. A lot of us are in constant flight or fight mode. I mean, that just is what it is. Look at the society we're in. Come on. A lot of us are in that. All right, that's the circumstances that we're dealing with. Be real. And on top of that, we look to things to fill that void. We look to things to fill that gap, to seek that love that we can give to ourselves. Because there's that lack of knowledge. But we live in the information age, my dears. We live in the information age where everything is accessible to us. There is no excuse. There is no excuse, but only time. We are already free. That's the biggest illusion ever, is that we are slaves. And don't get it twisted. I'm not discounting, I'm not dismissing, I'm not discrediting the oppression, historic oppression, violence, tragedy, genocide that we have experienced and endured. A lot of us are sick. A lot of us are broken. A lot of us are hurting. But we must be present in that space so that we can be honest about what is really happening. Not pretend that we are something that we're not. Not pretend that our value is in things outside of ourselves. Like, there's a lot of illusion going on. There's a lot of illusion. It's a part of the process of life. It's a part of the human experience. Yeah. Okay. All right. But it irritates me. It irritates me that this injustice is happening to us. And we are constantly oppressing ourselves and looping and looping and looping in hopes to get out of it. And that could be impatience from me. But that same impatience is here to address some things. Address the fact that we need to take accountability. We need to take responsibility for what we can control. And that means not supporting these businesses, not showing up in these spaces, recognizing that our energy is valuable and worthy, that our interactions with people are actually valuable, that we are not meant to just use our energy so cheaply, that we have more power than we really give ourselves credit for. That we can support the healers in the community, the actual people who are connected to the divine, who can actually help us come back to ourselves. And this is a shameless plug, my dears. I channel. I'm intuitive. I can see through the unseeable. I can read. I'm not going to go through all my gifts because, again, my energy is valuable and not everybody should have access to it. But if you are interested in a reading, or if you are interested in getting clarity on a specific situation when it comes to you in your life specifically, then I may be able to help with that. I read tarot. I may be able to help with that. So feel free to reach out. My information is accessible if you are interested. Seek the healers. Seek the ones who are genuine. Seek the ones who are doing the work as much as they are preaching. And maybe more so than they're preaching. The ones who actually walk the walk and don't just talk to just be heard and seen. Seek out those folks. Work with herbs. Work with herbs like mullein, chamomile, lavender, lemon balm. Learn about them. Learn about the medicine of the earth rather than the synthetic chemicals made by man who are greedy, who are power hungry, who are controlling and oppressive, fueled by ego. Develop emotional control, mindfulness. Inquire about yourself rather than running away. Connect with yourself. Build that relationship with yourself before trying to seek out relationships in everybody else. Or rather, allow your relationships with everybody else to inform you about your relationship with yourself. And lastly, take responsibility and accountability for yourself, your health, your life, and stop playing the victim. Stop playing the victim. Stop it. The closer you get to stop playing the victim, the more you recognize that everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna stop there. My goal is that this talk really activated you in some way, that it inspired you in some way to take action. My hope is that you take action rather than just allowing this to pass through your ears and be done with it from there. That you actually find the strength and the courage to do something about it. My hope is that you reclaim your power from this. My hope is that this plants a seed within you. My hope is that your triggers will transform you. That you transmute your triggers into triumph. My hope is that you inform me of how this resonates with you and how this phenomenon of places and spaces that are destructive within your community continue to be there with no accountability from the people that are putting them there, with no just continuing to harm our communities and our people with a pat on the back. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. My hope is that you recognize the need for balance. Balance. My hope is that you find empowerment within this, that you don't lead with fear, but lead with love instead. We are not free until we are all free. Genuinely. Genuinely. And it may not be clear now. It may not be clear now. The same way it wasn't clear when folks were slaving on plantation fields. That one day I can sit here and speak so passionately, so articulately, so with so much conviction. But there is a tomorrow if we believe that. We are so much more powerful than we know. With that, I will close because I could really keep going, but I won't. I'll stop there. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. And I hope that you like, you comment, you subscribe. If this content resonates with you, be sure to check out my other videos and let me know what you think in the comments. Be well, be bold, and continue to be present. Okay. Oh, and on that note, yes, while I have been smoking for 8 years, I've recently stopped because it's been a journey. It's been a journey, you know. It's been a long journey of me removing my attachment to this substance to fill this void. And since I have stopped, I've become more comfortable with my feelings, but I've become more comfortable with my joy, with my sadness, with my anger, and I've become more empowered to show up and take up space. And since I have stopped numbing the pain, I've been able to dig deep into it so that I can come out on the other side with purpose. And so if you have been tuned into my content for a while, you would see that I have struggled with posting online, with showing myself and being visible. But since I've rejected that old belief that I am unworthy of existing, since I've cut off some of the habits that have contributed to that false belief, I've become more present. I've become more creative, okay, because I've accessed a deeper part within myself. And I'm so, so grateful that I took that chance, that I took that opportunity to be more present and come back to myself. And I'm not done yet, okay? I'm still here, right? And so I ask that you be graceful with me and you be graceful with yourself as you continue to walk your path and your journey. It's not linear by any means. I just want to speak my piece, speak my perspective on the world. I'm an imperfect human, right? Somebody else might have a perspective that completes mine, okay? What I'm saying is not the, oh my gosh, she's just speaking the entire truth. I don't believe that, but I do believe I'm speaking my truth, and my truth is worth a lot. It's worthy of being heard. So with that, continue to be curious, continue to explore, continue to be open to new ideas and new perspectives on what's going on in our world, and continue to be an active member of society. Okay, we need you. All right, peace out.